if you can control the political calculus in the country, you control the military by proxy. So what we need to do is we need to make civilian media a military domain. And they did this through this doctrine called hybrid warfare, which is the idea that war is no longer mostly a conventional thing. It's mostly a media thing. I'm not joking when I say this. This is literally how they defined hybrid warfare, and all of the grants and contracts and all of the motion. I joke that it was like in 2011, if you wanted to get, grants approved for, studying the mating habits of squirrels, you would insert a line about how it's got a lens towards, how they're impacted by climate change. There was a similar thing with Pentagon funding around hybrid warfare. Anything that was useful to be able to pry hearts and minds away from Russia and towards NATO was considered a military necessity. And so they set up all this infrastructure in Central and Eastern Europe. They set it up in Germany, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Sweden, all over the Baltics. These went by different names. Sometimes it was called Stratcom for strategic communications. Sometimes it was called psychological inoculation centers, or centers of excellence. And they all connected the military establishment, NATO, and both the Pentagon, the British Ministry of Defense, Brussels, all of the NATO military facilities and agencies started to connect to social media companies for the purpose of censoring pro-Russian propaganda or anti-NATO dissent within domestic countries. Now, this became a way to rig their elections because any political party that was NATO skeptic or that wanted to join, say, a Brexit movement in France with Brexit, or Germany with Grexit, or Brexit in Greece, or Italexit in Italy, all of these became targeted by the Western military alliance because, by their logic, anybody who is not a foreign policy blob political candidate or political movement is de facto a pro-Russian asset of the Russian Empire, whose victory will undermine the security posture of the Western world. So they declared essentially a military predicate for taking over all civilian media. And this hit the gas when Brexit happened in June 2016, because the very next month, in July 2016, NATO formally added the hybrid warfare capacity building to its charter. For the first time in 60 years, it now had a unfettered license to engage in carte blanche psychological warfare. When Trump won 5 months later, all bets were off, and that whole NATO doctrine, which Jens Stoltenberg would formally call "from tanks to tweets," they had a formal doctrine called "from tanks to tweets," and that would all come racing over to the Pentagon as soon as Trump won the 2016 election.